Welcome to High Oracle's Reiki Spiritual Healing Channel. And as I conclude about talking about those men that are not chosen one, men who have betrayed their trust in the community, in order for a gain, in order to look good. And so as we go into, an underlying cause of what I am saying to you, the underlying reason of why I am giving you this understanding, and I have, given you a broad perspective that certain chosen one men could not be put out of the house. They stayed to raise their children. They stayed to protect their wives. They are, the leadership in community. They are the leadership on their job. So we have this understanding that they want to send our young black men to war. And I was talking about this on Instagram. They want to send the black men to war because they do not want another generation of chosen white men and women that, think independently, that can understand and that cannot be and that cannot be manipulated. So, this is my understanding that all of those men, again, I'm going to reiterate for you, all of those men who were readily available not understand that they are being pushed out of the job system. They have been pushed out of the homes. It's because they are trying to sacrifice you. Those men who are, ready to get married and have a family and establish a family, they want to go ahead and ship you off to war so that you do not produce another generation of chosen ones. And therefore, it stops your lineage with you, where they can unalive you. Again, I'm going to give you this example of the male sacrifices that they have been doing in history and making you think that, it is the women who have done this. The males have, bought into this system to look good, to want to be like, their masters, their colonizers. Our fathers bought into this system that they wanted to be able to dominate. Excuse me, let me just go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so when you're understanding that in the biblical times that they have given us these examples, I gave you this example on my live, and you have to be able to pick up these gems that I'm giving you. You have to be able to see that, a stimulus check, the women who have saved your lives. And I always thought that, when someone saves your life, then there is a debt to be repaid, even if it's only a good word or respect. But a lot of that has been, turned against our black women because they have been sending spells over your mind, and now they are trying to sacrifice you. And you see that they are trying to sacrifice you in their wars. They're trying to sacrifice you in society so that you cannot compete. And, I have a lot of people that say that this is hate speech. But I'm trying to tell you that those men who have bought into that are not chosen ones until they come out and start creating for themselves, thinking for themselves, and seeing the underlying reasons, why your mothers had to do what they had to do, when they have removed the men from the household, a lot of them. Okay, when a lot of the men have removed themselves from the household. And my mother used to say, to the Atlanta Housing Authority and those caseworkers, it's too much food in the store for my children to go hungry. Okay, we'll do what we have to do in order to, even if we have to move down there to the Atlanta Housing Authority, we'll just, camp out in the lobby. Okay. So this is what you'll have to understand. This is what you have to understand. As the men who want to be, in the hierarchy with the male, who want to feel good. Okay, you feel good by doing the work, by putting in the work. And this is what we have been trying to tell you, and we can no longer tell you. You have to see it for yourself. Okay, you're not chosen one men until you can understand that they have been trying to sacrifice you, and the only way that they can do that is to isolate you from your people and turn you against your people. Okay. And we can no longer, at a certain age, we can no longer protect you because, you have your own mind. You have a right to choose. And, in the holy books, it says that, Satan was trying to show God that the men that he had created from clay was ungrateful. Ungrateful for the gifts. Ungrateful for the just balance. It's supposed to be the equality in nature, in business, in your household. Okay, so now you're understanding why they want to sacrifice the men in preference to the women, because they can start a whole new generation and a whole new race with the women. They can start a whole new, plantation and a workforce with the women. Okay, so it has to be the men, 706, as I'm saying this, it has to be the men that stand up and say, I'm willing to, protect my family. I'm willing to protect my neighbors, my community. I'm willing to train them. I'm willing to, start a business so that, we don't have to endure certain things, just like my second husband. I don't want you to be in somebody's face out there in the world. You don't have to endure that with somebody else's money. You're safe. I know that you're safe, under my protection, under my roof. I know where you are. Okay, so I get it. I get it. And, again, young ladies, if you do not have that in your life, if you do not have a male talking like that to you in your life, then they are not the chosen one men. You have got yourself an NPC or a narcissist. Okay? So this is what they want. They want you to go to war and be like, David sending Bathsheba's husband into war so that he was unalive. I'm going to give you that example again from the holy books, so that you do not create another generation of chosen ones that can think for themselves. They want the chosen ones. They want the chosen one young people. They want to make them narcissists, so they think that, I got to go to work and get some money, and they're not going to pay them. They're not going to pay you for your gifts unless you're marketing to your own people. You're not going to, you're calling your power back because you're not going to get what you deserve from your blessings. They want to siphon your blessings and your gifts. And ultimately, if they cannot siphon those blessings and those gifts, then they want to, sacrifice the young men, the young chosen one men, the young black men, the infants, the babies, before they make it to a point where, they know what their gifts are. They know how to use their gifts. They want to, their own family and protect and defend their own families. So, a lot of you can You can overlook this message, but this message is for, not only the men, but those women who have sons, and they raise their sons to be a certain way, to be served as if they are a king, and they haven't put in the work, where they want to harm their counterparts, their wives, their children, to be, looked up to. When you are, putting in the work, then you are automatically looked up to as a king. You don't have to beat your drums and beat your chest to do that. Okay, so this is where, I'm just coming in to give you a warning and to let you know that this is why I have been talking to you. I've had a lot of the men say, well, when you start talking about the men, we're just going to turn away from you. Well, that's fine. You can overlook this message, but it's still being played out. It's still being played out, in society, in the news, with the military, with different laws that's passed. Okay, and it's not meant to harm you. It's meant to make you aware and to make you stronger in mind, so that I can break this spell that has been over your mind for such a long time, given you that you want to, be validated by your fathers and follow in their footsteps. Okay, so we're going to break all of that down, so you start thinking for yourself what is right and wrong, for your family, for society, so that you do not go into, a war that they do not want their, elite children to go into. Understand that? Okay, so, we're going to pull off the Band-Aid, and you're going to stop accepting. You're going to stop accepting, this free money, or trying to be a part of, a party in this government that does not want you, that wants your downfall. And that's the greatest thing that I can say to you, besides giving you the examples from the Holy Book. And I hope that you have received this message, young men and women, chosen one men and women. Please book your one-on-one life coaching sessions, so that I can acclimate a gift to your situation, so that I can acclimate a gift of, protection from the government, those types of cleansings, a cleansing bath that can cleanse you and protect you, and we can come together to figure out what to do, the chosen one men and women, about these types of laws that have been targeting black men to sacrifice them, that have been targeting black women to sacrifice them. And again, I hope you received this message. Please book your one-on-one life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. Donate to my channel. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.